Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out into the unknown. The ground beneath you feels familiar, safe, but deep down you know you were never meant to stay in one place. Change is calling you forward, but fear whispers, what if you fall? The truth is, every successful person, every groundbreaking idea, and every moment of greatness began with a single decision to embrace change. Yet, so many people resisted, fearing the discomfort of the unknown. But what if, instead of fearing change, you saw it as your greatest ally? What if, instead of falling, you soared? Today, I want to challenge you to shift your perspective, to see change not as an obstacle, but as the key to unlocking your full potential. Because the life you dream of, the success you crave, and the impact you want to make all lie on the other side of change. Life is a constant journey of change, whether we welcome it or not. Everything around us evolves: technology, relationships, opportunities, and even the way we think. Yet while change is inevitable, our response to it is a choice. Some people resist it, clinging to what is familiar, while others embrace it, seeing it as an opportunity for growth. The truth is, those who refuse to change remain stuck, watching as the world moves forward without them. But those who lean into change, who see it as a doorway rather than a dead end, open themselves up to limitless possibilities. Think about the most successful individuals in history. They weren't just lucky, they were adaptable. They understood that growth is not about staying comfortable, but about challenging themselves, pushing past limitations, and stepping into the unknown. The greatest innovators didn't achieve success by doing the same thing over and over again. They recognized when it was time to evolve, when to take risks, and when to let go of what no longer served them. But let's be honest, change isn't always easy. It can be uncomfortable, even painful at times. It forces us to confront our fears, let go of old habits, and step into unfamiliar territory. It's human nature to want stability, to feel secure in what we know. That's why so many people resist change, even when it's the very thing they need to grow. They fear failure, rejection, or the uncertainty of what lies ahead. Yet, what if we stopped seeing change as something to fear and started viewing it as an invitation to become better, stronger, and wiser? Think about a caterpillar. It spends its life crawling, confined to the ground, until one day everything changes. It enters a cocoon, a dark and uncertain place where transformation happens. From the outside, it may seem like an end, but in reality, it's just the beginning. When it emerges, it is no longer the same creature. It has wings, it can soar, it has become something greater than it ever imagined. That is the power of embracing change. The same principle applies to our lives. The discomfort we feel when change happens is not a sign to turn back, but a sign that growth is taking place. Every challenge, every new experience, every shift in our lives is shaping us into the person we are meant to become. If we resist, we remain where we are, but if we embrace it, we transform. So the question is not whether change will happen. It always does. The question is how you will respond to it. Will you stay where it's comfortable, or will you rise to meet the challenge? Because in the end, change is not the enemy, stagnation is. And the moment you decide to embrace change, you take your first step toward greatness. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles to embracing change. It whispers doubts, paints worst-case scenarios, and convinces us that staying in our comfort zone is the safest option. But the truth is, most of our fears are not based on real danger. They are illusions created by uncertainty. The unknown seems intimidating not because it is inherently dangerous, but because we are not yet familiar with it. When we allow fear to dictate our choices, we deny ourselves the chance to grow, to evolve, and to experience life at its fullest. Think about a time when you hesitated to take a new opportunity, to try something different, or to step into unfamiliar territory. Maybe it was switching careers, starting a new relationship, or even pursuing a long-held dream. The fear of failure, of making the wrong choice, or of stepping into the unknown can be overwhelming. But look back at that moment now. Did the fear turn out to be real? More often than not, we realize that the things we worried about never actually happened, or if they did, they were not as devastating as we imagined. The mind has a way of exaggerating the risks and underestimating our ability to handle them. We become trapped by the fear of what if? What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if I make the wrong decision? But what if instead we asked a different question? What if this change is exactly what I need? What if this opportunity leads to something amazing? What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? The way we frame our thoughts determines whether fear holds us back or propels us forward. History is filled with people who faced the unknown and refused to let fear stop them. The first astronauts who ventured into space had no guarantees of success. Entrepreneurs who built world-changing businesses had no certainty that their ideas would work. Every great leader, every innovator, every person who has achieved something extraordinary had to confront fear. But instead of letting it paralyze them, they used it as fuel to push forward. They understood that fear is not a stop sign, it is a sign that we are stepping into something bigger than ourselves. The reality is, growth only happens when we challenge ourselves. When we take that first uncertain step, we begin to realize that the unknown is not as terrifying as we thought. With each step forward, fear loses its grip and confidence takes its place. We start to see that we are capable of more than we ever imagined. So, the next time fear tries to hold you back, remember this: the life you want, the success you seek, and the person you are meant to become are all waiting on the other side of fear. You don't have to eliminate fear. You just have to stop letting it control you. Step into the unknown, because that is where true greatness begins. Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. Just when we think we have everything figured out, change arrives uninvited, disrupting our plans and shaking our sense of stability. It's in these moments, when setbacks hit, when doors close, when challenges seem overwhelming, that we face a choice. Do we let difficulties define us, or do we use them as stepping stones to something greater? Every setback, no matter how painful, carries within it the seed of a comeback. It all depends on how we choose to respond. Some of the greatest success stories in history were born from failure. The most accomplished individuals were not spared from hardship. They simply refused to let setbacks be the end of their journey. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was once fired for lacking creativity. Each of these individuals faced rejection, disappointment, and failure. But instead of seeing these moments as reasons to give up, they saw them as lessons, as fuel, as opportunities to come back stronger. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of the path to success. But in the moment, when we are facing disappointment, it's easy to feel like it's the end. It's easy to believe that we are not good enough, that we are stuck, that nothing will change. That's when we need to remind ourselves that setbacks are temporary. They do not define us. They are not a reflection of our worth. They are simply moments that challenge us to grow, to adapt, and to find new ways forward. Every challenge is an opportunity to become more resilient, more resourceful, and more determined. Think about a bow and arrow. When the arrow is pulled back, it may seem like it is moving in the wrong direction away from its target. But in reality, that tension, that resistance, is exactly what gives it the power to launch forward with even greater force. The same is true for us. Sometimes life pulls us back. Sometimes We face struggles that seem to hold us down. But if we refuse to give up, if we use those moments to build strength and clarity, we will be propelled forward in ways we never imagined. The key is to shift our mindset. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, we must see them as setups for something greater. Every difficulty holds a lesson. Every challenge builds character. And every detour can lead to an even better destination. What seems like a loss today may turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to you. It's all about perspective and perseverance. So when life knocks you down, don't stay there. Rise, learn, adapt, keep moving forward. Because your comeback story is waiting to be written, and it starts the moment you decide that no setback will ever be strong enough to stop you. The way we see the world determines the way we experience it. Two people can go through the exact same situation, yet one sees it as an opportunity while the other sees it as a burden. The difference is not in the situation itself, but in the mindset. Our thoughts shape our reality, and the way we perceive change determines whether we struggle with it or thrive because of it. When we fear change and see it as a threat, we become resistant, hesitant, and overwhelmed. But when we embrace change with an open mind, we unlock new possibilities and discover strengths we never knew we had. Think about any major breakthrough in history. The greatest advancements in science, technology, and human achievement all came from people who refused to see change as a problem. They saw it as a doorway to progress. While others hesitated, they moved forward. While others focused on obstacles, they focused on solutions. They understood that the key to success was not avoiding change, but learning to use it to their advantage. But shifting our mindset is not always easy. The human brain is wired to seek comfort and predictability. It wants to stick with what is known because that feels safe. That's why so many people resist change. They fear losing control. They focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. Yet the most successful and fulfilled people have one thing in common. They train their minds to see change as an opportunity rather than a threat. They understand that growth only happens when we step outside of what is familiar. Imagine standing in front of two doors. One door leads to the same life you have always known, comfortable, predictable, but unchanged. The other door leads to something new, uncertain, perhaps even intimidating, but full of possibility. Most people choose the first door not because it is better, but because it feels safer. But those who choose the second door, those who take the risk and embrace the unknown, are the ones who achieve greatness. They are the ones who discover new strengths, unlock new opportunities, and live a life that others only dream of. Every challenge, every shift, every unexpected turn in life is an invitation to grow. It is a chance to reframe your perspective, to see possibilities where others see problems. The question is not whether change will happen. It always does. The real question is, will you see it as an obstacle, or will you see it as a stepping stone to something greater? The choice is yours. You can resist change and remain where you are, or you can embrace it and transform into the person you were meant to be. Because at the end of the day, the only limits that exist are the ones we place on ourselves. Change your mindset and you will change your life. When we think about success, we often picture a single defining moment, a breakthrough, a big win, a dramatic transformation. But in reality, greatness is never the result of one massive leap. It is built through small, consistent changes that add up over time. Every great achievement, every remarkable success story is the result of small decisions made daily, choices that may seem insignificant in the moment, but ultimately shape our future. The problem is that many people underestimate the power of small changes. They think that if they can't see immediate results, then their efforts don't matter. But real growth is not about instant gratification. It's about steady, intentional progress. Imagine a drop of water falling onto a rock. One drop does nothing. 10 drops do nothing. But over time, with persistence, that water carves a path through solid stone. Change works the same way. The small actions you take today, no matter how minor they seem, are shaping the person you are becoming. Whether it's reading a few pages of a book, waking up a little earlier, making healthier choices, or pushing yourself just one step further, these tiny efforts accumulate. One day you wake up and realize that all those small choices have transformed your life. But too often, people give up before they see the results. They start something new, full of motivation, but when they don't see immediate success, they assume it's not working. They don't realize that progress is happening beneath the surface, just like a seed growing underground before it ever breaks through the soil. This is why patience and persistence are so important. Change doesn't happen overnight, but if you trust the process and keep going, you will see the result. Every major success story is built on the foundation of small, consistent actions. Olympic athletes don't wake up one day and suddenly become the best in the world. They train for years, improving just a little bit every day. Entrepreneurs don't create billion-dollar businesses overnight. They start with small ideas, make adjustments, and build momentum over time. Even personal growth follows the same principle. Confidence, discipline, and resilience are not things you are born with. They are built through daily habits and small victories. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions before taking action. But perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it only leads to inaction. The most important thing you can do is start small, stay consistent, and trust that every effort is moving you closer to where you want to be. Because in the end, success is not about making one big change. It's about making small changes day after day until they lead you to greatness. Change is not just something that happens to us. It is something we must actively embrace if we want to step into the life we are meant to live. Too often, people wait for the right time to make a move, to take a risk, to pursue their dreams. But the right time never comes because change does not wait for us to be ready. It arrives whether we welcome it or not. And the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay stuck is simple. Those who succeed choose to embrace change rather than resist it. Think about the moments in your life that shaped you the most. Were they times of comfort and routine, or were they moments of challenge, uncertainty, and transformation? Growth never happens in the familiar. It happens when we step into something new, when we allow ourselves to be stretched beyond our limits, when we say yes to opportunities, even when we don't feel fully prepared. Every time you have embraced change in the past, you have grown. Every time you took a step into the unknown, you discovered strength and resilience you didn't know you had. And if you look back, you will see that some of the best things in your life came from moments that first seemed uncertain or even terrifying. But many people spend their entire lives avoiding change, choosing the safety of the known over the possibility of something greater. They stay in jobs they hate, relationships that no longer serve them, routines that keep them stagnant, all because the idea of stepping into the unknown feels too risky. But the real risk is staying the same. The real danger is looking back years from now and realizing you never took the chances that could have led to something amazing. The truth is, everything you want, the success, the fulfillment, the impact, is on the other side of change. Every dream you have requires you to become a version of yourself that does not yet exist. That transformation can only happen when you allow yourself to grow, to adapt, to evolve. It will not always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and times when you question if the effort is worth it. But those who push through, who lean into the discomfort instead of running from it, are the ones who create lives of meaning and success. You have a choice. You can hold on to the past, resist change, and stay exactly where you are. Or you can embrace it, trust that it is leading you somewhere greater, and step boldly into your future. Because change is not just something that happens, it is the path to becoming everything you were meant to be. Change is not something to fear, it is the very force that shapes us into who we are meant to become. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to rise stronger than before. Fear may try to hold us back, but the truth is, greatness is found in the unknown. It is built through the small choices we make every day, through the willingness to adapt, and through the courage to embrace the journey, even when the destination is unclear. If you want to live a life of meaning, success, and fulfillment, you cannot afford to stay where it's comfortable. The greatest rewards come to those who step forward, who trust the process, who refuse to let fear dictate their future. You already have everything within you to create the life you dream of, but it starts with a decision to stop resisting change and start embracing it. So as you move forward, remember this: change is not your enemy, it is your greatest opportunity. The path to greatness is not found in standing still, it is found in moving forward, no matter how uncertain the road may seem. Step into the unknown, trust in your ability to grow, and embrace change as the key to unlocking your full potential. Because everything you are searching for is waiting for you on the other side.